Hi, are you a positive, active leader or are you a micromanager? Thanks so much for joining me. In less than 15 minutes, I'll be sharing with you how you can tell the difference between those two things and why it matters for your business. Because believe it or not, it does matter which one you are. Hi, y'all. I'm Dr. P, and I'm a strategic business coach, and I've been a school psychologist for about 10 years in K-12 schools in the US, and I've served on professional organization committees, and I'm a part-time professor for a graduate psychology program at the master's level. I've taught more than 10 different online courses on 4 different kinds of platforms, right? So I can say this, working in so many different school districts, working in different professional organizations, and serving on so many different committees within the same professional organization, I saw the difference between a positive, active leader and a micromanager. And let me tell you, I'm sure you can resonate, you can relate to these things that I'm talking about, because I'm sure you've had that leader, that boss, that supervisor, that manager, whatever it was that their title was. You've probably experienced similar things, right? Because I've worked in schools wherein, if you can believe this, I've had principals who have asked me to give them an update literally every hour on the hour, and then become so upset when I'm not showing progress within each hour. Yeah, I've had that. I'm not sure if you've had that in the jobs review work, but I've had that. I've also had the opportunity to work in schools wherein I needed to complete a timesheet every day as well as an accountability log. But hold on, for the accountability log, I had to complete it by hour and minute. So I had to justify for every single minute that of every single minute of the day, all the activities I was doing by the minute. That's what I had to do, right? And I've worked in school districts where I had to complete activity logs by the day. Those ones weren't so bad because what? They weren't by the minute, right? And to be fair, in the school system, we do get federal funds, and there are certain reasons why you get those federal funds, and you really have to be able to justify, that you actually did the activities that were associated with the federal funds. Hence why a lot of school districts have accountability logs. But as you can tell, I've experienced different ones. The ones by the day weren't that bad because you could just put the activities. But when you got to sit down and log your activities by the hour and the minute, that is time consuming. And did I mention when working in that school district, the administrators were kind of ticked off by the amount of time we were spending during the workday to actually complete those logs. Go figure. So, yeah, I've had those experiences. I've also been members of teams in organizations, in school districts, and professional organizations, wherein we had to provide weekly updates on the goals that we were working towards, right? Doesn't sound too bad. How about the fact that throughout the week, I would get emails from the leader of the team, from the leader of the committee, to ask different questions. They're asking me different questions about where I am and what I'm doing several times throughout the week. And I have to respond and give them that information. But then I still had to give the weekly update, which they already knew was in, what was going to be in the update. So talk about wasting my time. And it really was not really conducive, because every time you would give an update, they would scrutinize it and criticize it, and it wasn't really offering anything of value. So when I say I've experienced different ones, I mean, I've even done the monthly update, and the same thing happened, that throughout the month you would get these emails, and oh my gosh, the people in charge of the team, those micromanagers, they wanted to be copied on every single email, and they didn't want you to make any decisions. Because I was on this team one time in an organization where I couldn't make any decisions whatsoever unless I sent the information to the person who was in charge of that team. So I couldn't make any decisions without them seeing everything. And on top of that, they were copied on every single email. So I'm not sure if this is resonating with you, right? Because These are my experiences, and people have worked in different organizations. I have friends in different organizations, different types of industries, and they've had those leaders that are constantly asking them for updates, constantly asking them where they are, what they're doing, why they haven't done this, why they haven't done that. And you feel like you're doing like a performance eval in every single conversation, right? So this has a lot to do with your business. Really, it does. And the reason why it has a lot to do with your business, right, is because if you are that type of person, then that can damage your business before you even get off the ground. And even if you got off the ground and you're on rocky starts right now, it could be because of the type of leadership style you're having. And if you're a micromanager, it is not going to be beneficial for your business, right? Because as an entrepreneur, I bet you started it because you wanted to be your own boss, right? You didn't want anybody to be constantly on your case asking you for updates. So you went ahead and you started your own business. Awesome. That is great. But you don't want to become one of those same bosses that you're running away from. Because yes, you're now starting out and it might just be you, right? You might not have any employees right now, or you're starting to really bring on other team members, or you have this goal that you are going to have a certain number of team members, employees working within your business. And you're going to be the leader and they're going to be working under you, right? So you are going to have to understand your leadership style. And when you understand your leadership style, then that's going to impact how you're going to interact with those people who are on your team. That's why you need to be asking yourself, are you a positive, active leader, or are you a micromanager? Because the micromanaging is going to negatively impact how you even delegate tasks to others, if you even delegate tasks to others. And this is why you really have to take some time to figure out which one you are. So I want to see if I can help you figure that out in this video. And we're going to start with a micromanager. And by the way, the information that I'm going to share with you throughout the rest of this video, I took from Investopedia, from SHRM, from Gallup. You know, those are the Balanced Career. Honestly, those are some of the sources that I use to generate the resources I'm going to share with you on this micromanager, positive, active leader. And I also took it from some research. I did some articles that I found online, right? And the micromanager, according to Investopedia, this is somebody who is not supportive, go figure. And they have a negative form of active leadership, because let's be honest, those micromanagers are very active, right? Sometimes overly active. And with the micromanager, they provide an excessive level of supervision to their employees. Think of that person that was always on your case, always hovering over everything you did in that organization that you used to work in before you became your own boss. And as the employee being micromanaged, chances are you probably remember feeling afraid to even share an opinion because it was being shut down. You probably felt a little insecure, or you really weren't feeling confident in your actual abilities to do your job, right? Because no matter what you did, that person, that micromanager, criticized it, and they never shared anything positive with you. So just try to remember how that felt, because you don't want to become a micromanager. Because you want your business to survive 5 years. You want your business to survive 10 years and more. So you don't want to be a micromanager. And if you're still not sure if you're a micromanager, here are some things you can ask yourself. Seriously, do you need to be copied on every email? Just remember the boss that wanted you to be copied on every email, right? Do you need to be copied on every email? As an entrepreneur, having your own business, working with others, having team members, do you need to be copied on every single email that your team members send out? Just ask yourself that. Do you become angry and frustrated when people make decisions about your business or taking an action within your business without even consulting you? Think about that. Do you have to monitor everyone's daily activities at the end of each day? Do you really need to do that? Are you constantly asking to be given updates throughout the day or throughout the week while you know people are working on the task that you gave them? How about this one? Are you afraid to delegate? Because you know within your heart the person that you're going to delegate to isn't going to do it exactly how you want that task to be done. Is that you? And then if you finally decided you're going to delegate, do you spend a lot of time, be honest, ton of time, just sitting explaining to the person how you need them to do the task, because you want them to do the task how you want it to be done, because so you're giving them no type of freedom? Ask yourself that question. And do you just track things to track things' sake? For every single thing you are assigning numbers, and you're tracking these numbers, and because you want to think that all these numbers are important, right? So are you really obsessing over those details, or are you looking at big progress metrics? Which one are you looking at? So those are some questions that you need to ask yourself, those questions, and be honest with the responses. Because I could tell you this, if you responded yes to all of them, guess what? You're a micromanager. Yeah, you are. So you don't want to be a micromanager. And don't worry, there are things you can do to improve and not be a micromanager, and to be able to help your business to grow and thrive. Because micromanagers are very good at getting immediate results, but the long-term results include things like poor morale among your employees and your team members. So you want to be a leader who can instill positive values and positive feelings in their team members and in their employees. Because if not, all those people you brought on board are no longer going to want to be a member of your team. They're going to quit on you. So if you start hiring people and realizing, hey, I am now having this high turnover, it's probably because you're a micromanager. So remember, I said, even if you're a micromanager, don't give up on yourself. Please don't. There are actually things you can do. And here are some of the things that you can do to help yourself be more of a positive, active leader. Take that energy and use it in a more positive way, right? So a positive leader, a positive, active leader is one who has the time to develop and improve strategy. Because if you're micromanaging, you ain't got no time to be working on strategy, because you're minding all these other things that you shouldn't really be focusing on. So a positive, active leader actually has the time to put in to developing and improving the strategy for the business. And by the way, you started your business for a reason. So if you started your business for a reason, you got to be working on that strategy to help keep that business improving. Just by the way. Then a positive, active leader is one who promotes critical thinking in others. It's a person who is task-oriented as well as relationship-oriented. So you want to be building relationships in your business and letting people actually do what you hire them to do. Then you're going to, as a positive, active leader, outline the metrics for success and then focus on those metrics. So I'm not talking about those little itty bitty details. You're focusing on the metric, that big metric, to measure what success is, not focusing on meaningless data. You're going to set deadlines, not for setting deadlines sake and go on deadline happy. No, you're setting deadlines for specific stages of a project for when those things need to be completed. Reason being, we do have some tasks, because remember that strategy you're working on, right? So within that strategic plan, there are going to be things that you need to get accomplished. So you're going to have to set some deadlines on them, but be realistic with your deadlines. And a positive, active leader is one who teaches their skills to others so that those other people can grow. They ask for input from others, and then employees and team members are not afraid of sharing information. And most importantly, the positive, active leader acts as a coach. They're there to help facilitate and grow, not to be hounding and hovering every second of the day over their employees, whether you're in person or digital, because you know people can still hover digitally with all those many emails that they send and all the different messages that they send through the instant messaging. So I really wanted to share this information with you guys today. Please go back through these questions and ask yourself, be honest. Are you a positive, active leader, or are you a micromanager? And if you're a micromanager, there are things that you can do to help yourself improve. So like and share this video if you get value from it. If you're listening to this on the podcast, thanks for listening. And you can drop a heart in there to support. Remember, solutions plus actions equals results. Thanks again for joining. Bye.